It's live.
That's why.
Nice. All right. Thank you for tuning in. You're listening to Moheak.com. I am Zoe, and I'm in the studio with Aaron Barons of Ghostland Observatory.
Yeah, you.
Aaron, question for you. Carol wants to know, how do you stay spiritually grounded on the road?
Oh, that's interesting. You know, I think I just try to stay positive more so than anything. Just try to stay focused and positive on my roots. You know, knowing that I have a solid foundation at home and go out from there. You know, I don't really do too many practices or anything like that. Anything in particular. I more or less am more live spiritually, not so much in the ritual as so much as in the moment of whatever needs to be done. So I don't really practice anything in particular, just more or less just keep positive in my head and stay true to who I am.
You don't burn any sage on the road?
No, I mean, and I'm not against it either, you know, I mean, I'm totally not against that at all. Like I said, I think it's more in the moment of what I'm needing and what I'm needing to do, and just trying to be thankful and humble for what I already do have, and you know, but no particular spiritual preference. I'll do anything. Just throw it on the table. I'll do it all.
Nice. Our photographer Debbie wanted to know. Miss Debbie, who is also going to be shooting you tonight at Club Nokia. Wanted to know about your experience in Chile, Lollapalooza. How was that for you?
Dude, it was crazy. Okay, because there's a whole story wrapped up in that thing.
All right.
So Miss Debbie knows her stuff. We were set to take off out of DFW, Dallas Fort Worth Airport, and we sat on the tarmac for like an hour and a half or something like that. And they were saying, "Oh, we got all kinds of problems. We got all this stuff we got to fix before we take off." So finally, it comes down to it. We take off. Well, on the way taking off, supposedly something hit the tail on takeoff, or we hit the tail on the ground taking off. And so we get in the air, and Jesse starts looking at me because there's a guy on the plane squawking about how the plane's gonna go down.
Oh no.
Or how we're gonna die. And so Jesse's looking over at me, pretty much saying goodbye to me. I didn't know quite what he was saying, because I'm looking over at Jesse and he's just like, "We're done. We're done." And I'm like, "What are you talking about? I don't feel like I'm done." Like, I'm just like looking at him like, I'm just like, no, I wouldn't have been like that. I was just like, I'm not scared right now, but that guy was squawking in his ear. I know that's what was getting him. And but I had just taken a sleeping pill. So I was just like, what is going on? So anyway, we come back down, and dude's like, "Yep, hear that? The left engine went out." And everybody's panicking, and there's starting to be some stuff, and I just didn't quite know it was that serious, I guess, or hadn't accepted that it was. And so they come in for landing, and they're like, "Don't worry, there's gonna be, you know, fire trucks and ambulances they're waiting for us, just a precaution." So you've got like 100,000 pounds of fuel on the plane too, because it's a 10-hour flight.
Oh,
so
lovely.
They're gonna have to try to land this plane with all this fuel in it. So they land it, and what was it? Just they blew out the tires.
Yeah, all the tires.
Blew out all the tires and burnt out the brakes trying to stop this big machine coming down. So, which is fine. I thought they landed it pretty nicely. It was still wobbly, you know, it was going back and forth. But they did their job. And
oh my god.
so pretty much I was just like, I had just taken that sleeping pill, so I was just like, oh god. And they're like, "Yeah, you're not gonna be able to fly out till the next morning." I was like, "Screw it, I'm not going to Chile." I was like, "I'm going home." I was like, "I don't want to be flying anywhere." I was all tired, and once I'm tired, I become a big baby. Ask my wife. I'm a queen when I get tired. And so I was just like, "I'm going home." Thomas was like, "You want to play?" I was like, "Man, I'm done. I'm going home." And Thomas was like, "Well, let's just stay and let's just see for the night. Let's sleep. Let's get some sleep." He knew I needed sleep. He knows he takes care of me. So
He's good to you that way.
he's good to me. He carried me to my room, tucked me in, laid me in my bed, and kissed me on the forehead and said, "Good night. No more here." And so I went to sleep. I was halfway angry, like shuffling in bed all night. And so we woke up the next morning, and I felt good. The sun came up, so that was beautiful. And so I was like, "All right, let's go to Chile. Let's do it." So we got on the plane and flew on to Chile, 10 hours. And I was disappointed because I wanted to see the Deftones and Edward Sharpe the Magnetic Zeros that night. But we got there at like 10 o'clock. So the guys went on to sound check, and I was like, I'm going to bed. I'm going to my room. And once again, I turned into a queen by the time I landed. But as I was going to up to my hotel room, I look over at the bar, and Frank and Abe from the Deftones are sitting at the bar. So totally stoked about that. That was my starstruck moment. So I told myself, I was like, Aaron, if you don't go over there and say hello to them, you will kick yourself. So I worked up the courage and walked over to them and stood at their table for a second. I was like, hey guys, I'm Aaron from Ghostland, and introduced myself to Frank, and Frank knew who Ghostland was. So I was very happy about that. I was very happy about that because it helped break the ice, So I sat down and kind of mumbled out some words. I was honestly really nervous. That's the first time I've been really starstruck, because if Rage Against the Machine and Deftones, that's my boys right there. Yeah, that was my boys. So I was really kind of nervous, but I acted cool. And I exited out in time before they left. You know what I'm saying? I was like, oh guys, I gotta get back to my room. I've got a lot to do. I'm a busy man. So I was like, y'all take care. Nice meeting y'all. So I think I got some cool points for that. I wasn't like annoying to them. So I worked that one good. So then I went on up to my room, and I came down the next morning to get ready for a show, and we've played a couple of shows with the Flaming Lips. So I saw Wayne. Wayne walked in. This is like a rock and roll show we're staying at. Yeah, everybody's there. So Wayne walked in, and I gave him a big hug because I feel somewhat connected to Wayne since he's in Oklahoma and I'm in Texas, and we're connected as states, so I feel connected that way to him. But no, he's a great dude, and me and him chatted it up, and I ended up running into him and hanging out with him the whole night. And he recorded me talking about my arrest that I got at South by Southwest one year. And he actually, Flame Lips jammed on top of that. They got a recording of me telling the story, and the Flame Lips were jamming underneath it. So hopefully Wayne will release that one of these days. But hung out with Wayne, and went and saw Jane's Addiction. See, we played in the afternoon, and that's the first time I've actually got to play in the afternoon, and the crowd was fantastic. From the very start, South America, I think, is our place to go. If anybody wants to take us to South America, just call me up, and we'll go to South America and play. But the crowd was great, and it was an afternoon, so I got to go actually see other bands. I got to see other people play, and went and saw Jane's Addiction, went and saw Little Kanye. But and just hung out with a lot of cool people. And then I got back to the hotel, and Jade from Edward Sharpe the Magnetic Zeros was sitting out by the poolside. So I went and said what's up to her for a second. Just said hello. Didn't want to get into her space. Once again, trying to play it cool, acting like I'm cool and I'm busy and I've got stuff to do. Didn't want to get on people's nerves. So slipped in, said hello, and went on my way. Peacefully.
Very classy. Very
classy. Always trying to be that way. So yeah, and then we ended up coming back. But and Slash was there from Guns N' Roses, and he was doing an autograph session the day we were leaving, and he was sitting in the hotel, and so they brought him down, right? Full security. He's sitting down in the hotel lobby, and they have tons of Guns N' Roses fans lined up outside the hotel. They're letting them in one by one so he can give them autographs.
Wow.
Yeah, it was awesome. So I got pictures of Slash sitting there. Fisher Spooner. Also hung out with the guys from Fisher Spooner. So it was awesome. It turned out to be a wonderfully eventful weekend.
Lollapalooza.
Yeah, it was great. I loved it.
Very cool.
Yeah. So that's my Lollapalooza story.
Awesome. Yeah. I like that story.
Yeah.
Very cool.
There you go.
So you would do it again in a heartbeat? Despite almost losing your life.
Yes, I would.
In the beginning.
Every day we almost lose our lives. You just don't know it.
Well, I know that we got to wrap it up. I want to say thank you very, very much. You just made me a very happy girl.
Awesome.
I am excited to see you tonight, and tickets are still available at the box office. So
I can't believe it. Go get them there, children.
I know. You better get on it because it's going to sell out. I can guarantee that. All right, thank you everybody for tuning in. I am Zoe. You've been listening to Moheak.com. Thank you. Have a great day, and we'll see you at the show. I'm going to close off with The Band Marches On.
Of course.
Wonderful.